in.
Hi, Addie.
Hey.
So nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I appreciate you having me in today, and I'm excited about everything that we have planned. How about the dogs last Saturday?
Go dogs.
I know, right? Let's see. Let me get situated just quick like. So I know I gave you my cell phone number at the game last Saturday, but I am going to go ahead and give you a business card.
Okay.
Feel free to call me or text me on my cell anytime, but that's also my email address and everything all in one place.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you've had a chance to look over the agenda that I emailed you yesterday, and it's totally okay if you haven't. I'm going to go over it with you really quick. Let's see. Okay. So, here's a hard copy of the agenda. So, first of all, I have a general understanding of the issues that YETI is experiencing in terms of growth and different things like that. But if it's okay with you, I am going to ask some questions just so I get a better understanding of your business and to really understand if Salesforce might be a good fit for YETI and all of your salespeople.
Okay.
Secondly, I will demonstrate very quickly some of the benefits Salesforce can offer you guys, and I'll just do this through a quick demonstration of the program. And this is very basic, just a few things that if we touch on and just kind of show you what we touch on, how it will help that.
Gotcha.
And lastly, we'll discuss the future of what it would look like in terms of cost and opportunities that you might would have with Salesforce. So is there anything else you can think of that you'd like to add to this agenda?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much covered it.
Great. And is there anyone else you'd like to have in this meeting today?
Just me today.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, let's get started.
Okay.
If it's all right with you, I am going to take some notes just to kind of help me keep track of things and jot down some general things we might talk about to help me understand better.
Okay.
Let's see. Where is that one main sheet that I have? Okay. Well, we will make do without it. Wait, might be. Oh. In the bottom of your stack,
Of course.
Okay, so just to begin, I want to talk about the exponential growth that YETI is experiencing. First of all, I've heard that your numbers now are $450 million in revenue. Is that correct?
Yes, we've had a good couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that is absolutely amazing, and it definitely tells me that something you guys are doing is right, and we just want to expand upon that and make it even better than it already is. So YETI, I understand it has 350 employees, and about 160 of those are salespeople.
Yes, we have 160 right now. We're looking to add 20 or 30 more in the next year or two. So. Okay,
great. And approximately 15 of those are managers, including marketing in different areas such as that. Okay, good deal. How much are these salespeople? How much do they cost you per hour?
Salespeople are $75 an hour, and our managers are $100 an hour.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. That was my next question. How much do managers make? Okay, so 75 and 100. Okay, so Addie, tell me a little bit more about how your salespeople are currently logging and tracking their information for orders and different sales and things like that.
Well, right now it's kind of up to them. They just decide on a case-to-case basis whether they want to do it one way or the other. But there's not really any uniformity in that area, which is something we could probably work on. Some use paper and pencil and notebooks, and some transfer the orders into our ordering department. Others use Excel and do the same thing. So it's just kind of a...
So it's just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's not really a unified system. So.
And as someone that's in charge of these people, I'm sure it's hard to keep track as to what exactly they're doing and how they're spending their time.
It definitely makes it hard.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. Well, so that seems to be kind of a convoluted process. How many times or how long do you think on average per week it's taking these salespeople to actually log these sales into the system?
It's kind of hard to say, to guess that number. I know that because it takes a while, they're working across multiple platforms, and it's easy for them to get distracted and to waste time. But I guess a safe bet would be about 20 hours per week on this task, maybe give or take a few.
Okay, 20 hours per week. Well, just on the safe side, I'm going to put that number at about 10. Okay. I think that would be a good average, just 20. Anyways, we're just going to go with 10. Okay. So, and that's also just to show you at the end when we run through some numbers that's also on the conservative side. And so if you thought about that in even bigger terms, how much you could save. So we're going to do 10 hours a week, and each of those are costing you $75 an hour, which is $750 a week per salesperson. And then obviously you multiply that times your 160 salespeople, and that's $120,000 a week.
Wow.
So that was just some quick math just right there. And I want you to keep that number in mind because we are going to take a closer look at them later on in this meeting. And but just real quickly, I want to make sure we're touching all of the issues. So the second issue I know that you mentioned was your intercommunication between departments.
Yes.
The way I understand it, your sales and marketing departments are somewhat intertwined because you have your salespeople answering to dealers directly.
Yeah.
And then your marketing managers are actually marketing to consumers directly. So there is some overlap there. And you also right now don't have any kind of uniform system that they can communicate with.
Yeah.
So if a salesperson wanted to communicate with a marketing person, what does that communication look like? How would they get in contact with that person to ask them one or two questions?
If a salesperson wanted to find out like anything about a different part of a different department or a different product or whatever they wanted to know about it, it's not readily available to them. They have to go to our employee directory and find the contact info that would have that information for them, and then that person has to get the email, respond to the email, send the email. So it's a process, and it can take a while, and they have to wait for whoever it is to reply. So it's just like kind of a waiting game to get any information at all. And
I mean, would it be safe to say that a reply is at least a day between these departments back and forth?
Yeah, I would say we try and recommend or require, I guess, at least a 24-hour response. Okay. But sometimes we get complaints that it doesn't always go that way. So
yeah, and I can certainly understand that. Just communicating with people in general, it's always sometimes longer than you would imagine. So while this communication is happening back and forth between salespeople and the marketing people, are there dealers on the other side that are waiting to hear back from their salespeople, and so that's slowing the process down of that happy client of getting that quick response?
Yes, definitely. There's that's just another person waiting for a response. So it's it's everyone's waiting for a response from someone else.
Everybody's playing the waiting game.
Literally.
Yeah, definitely understand that. So based off of this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important to YETI's business and to their overall sales do you think this interdepartment communication is?
Oh gosh, I would say probably an 8 at least.
Okay. Wow. So it's pretty much very important to you guys. And if they're spending 10 hours a week, let's just say, communicating back and forth, we have that same number that we looked at earlier, and even higher. So costing you about another $120,000 a week, essentially, just to communicate back and forth.
That's a lot of money.
And again, those were conservative numbers, and that doesn't even include what we're waiting on the managers to actually respond back. But just conservative, we'll leave it $120,000 a week because I don't want to blow you away too much with these numbers. Now, one more problem I want to discuss, and this one is definitely a top priority for YETI, and I know it's something you stressed to me the most Saturday when we were talking at the game, is that because of your growth, you're having a hard time actually fulfilling orders, which means you're having a hard time completing business and completing transactions because you don't have the inventory or, the supply chain necessary to complete all this growth. So, you briefly mentioned the loss of some small to medium-sized businesses over the past year because you cannot fulfill their orders. What would you say, how many small to medium accounts did you guys lose last year?
We lost 41 accounts total. Like you said, most of them were small and our medium-sized businesses. They aren't our major clients, our big clients, but still, each one, it's at least $15,000 per account, and that's on the conservative end. So, again, that is just an average, but it's at least that much per account. So I guess if you think about it, it would add up. Yeah.
So let's just do that math really quick. So if you had 41 accounts, my calculator seems to have run off for me. So 41 accounts, and you're saying roughly $15,000 an account. That's $615,000 a year.
Wow.
And you saw me compute that right there in front of you. So that is a lot of money that we're looking at. And I don't know what do you think that means in terms of your business?
It means we lost a lot of money and something's got to be changed.
Exactly. Well, I'll tell you, just looking at it off the numbers perspective, you guys were close to $500,000 in sales last year. This is another $500,000. So this would have put you Y'all were $500 million last year. I was about to say, this is not somewhere in my head. Y'all were $500 million last year, so this puts you at another $500,000.
Yeah.
So you would have been one step closer to that $1 billion mark. And then, of course, what we've already talked about in terms of number probably would have put you guys right there at that $1 billion mark. And like you said, that's conservative too. So seeing that on paper, have you ever thought about it in terms of that, or what does that make you feel in terms of losing that money, or, that could have been potential earnings?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good to see that much loss, calculated on paper. I've never gone through and added it all up, but it really does put it in perspective. It just kind of makes it seem like we missed some opportunities, and I wonder how our CEO would feel about those missed opportunities, and if there's a way we could go get them back, or in the future get them. So
I definitely agree, and hopefully, after I show you a few other things, maybe we'll have that opportunity to show Matt, the CEO, maybe some potential things that YETI could be capitalizing on.
Yeah.
So let's move. Let's see. Let's talk about. I think that the biggest issue is, what if your ordering managers were able to see that something wasn't in stock whenever someone was trying to place an order, or they could talk to the ordering manager and say, hi, I have a dealer that wants to order this. What is the leeway time, or how much time are we going to have to get this inventory in? Do you think that having that information in one click or one little quick chat would be beneficial to YETI in fulfilling these orders and getting that $500,000 back?
I think that would be huge, just because we don't have anything like that to be able to access all of our information. It's all just scattered around the company. So I think if it was centralized like that and we could get to it all in one place, it would be really helpful. Is that possible to do that?
Yeah, and it definitely is. I guess since we've talked about some of these issues, now might be a good time to kind of segue into, I can show you how some of those things can actually be achieved at Salesforce. Is it all right with you if I come to your side of the table while we discuss some of these things?
Sure.
Great. Alrighty. Get all my notes in order. Okay, so I have just set up a little mock site of what this would look like for YETI. Yeah, if you can come right through here, I'll show it to you. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you some of the benefits just that we've talked about. Let's look first at the home page. So here you see a dashboard, and you have graphs and charts of different things, and all this can be customized to the salesperson. This is as if it were a salesperson perspective. So you can look at your best-selling products, what orders you currently have waiting to be fulfilled, and different things like that. So if we click this link right here, we can view all of our orders and dealers. And so basically, let's just click on this dealer here, Outfitters Express. And so here you can quickly see all of the past orders, what sold well for this business, their upcoming orders, etc. Yeah, it's all right here in a click of a button. But I want to draw your attention to this, because this is something you guys are really going to profit on. Do you see this caution exclamation point?
Yeah.
Okay, so what this does is it sends you a notification when something something that dealer has ordered is out of stock or close to being out of stock. It's also going to send your salespeople a direct email notification letting you know, hi, you just put this in for an order. You might want to check on this. Also in the email, you're going to have a direct link to what we call chatter, and you can actually chatter to order managers who actually place orders with manufacturers and see when this product might be in stock or what the quantity is. So you can then let your dealer know, hi, we're on a back order. It's going to look a little bit more like this, without the person being notified later that your order can't be fulfilled. It's going to be real-time updating happening all day long, always across the platform.
So you can chat with customers and other employees.
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to mention this chatter feature to you. You guys are really going to like this. So right now there's no inter-department communication.
Yeah, that's
now your salespeople, your salespeople are actually going to be able to talk to your marketing managers, or your marketing manager is going to talk to your manufacturers, and it's really going to be like this across the platform. Everyone can talk real time. Which brings me to one other point is, a lot of your salespeople, are they on the road a lot, or is this so they're on the road a lot and they're all over the place. So chances are that your salespeople actually can sit down together face to face. This probably doesn't happen often.
Yeah, it's not very common. They're usually out and going to other places to do it, just because we like to go and do the personal meetings with them. That's just how we like to do it, because it's the customer centric. So
and that's what we do. That totally makes a lot of sense. And we thought about that in advance as well. And so there's also an app and a mobile way that you can use Salesforce to, as your salespeople are walking out of one customer, they can update it live on their phone, and everyone across the company can know what's going on. So I know that I just showed you this. I mean, this was literally 2-3 little benefits that Salesforce can offer you that just go hand in hand with those issues we just discussed. And so for the sake of time, that was all I was going to show you today.
Okay.
So now, do you have any questions about this demo or anything that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I like everything I see. I like the layout of it. It's very clean and not junky on the computer screen, and that's what we need is just a clean, organized platform. I'm a little nervous to see how much this is going to cost us because our CFO does not like spending extra money on stuff like this. So. Well,
yeah, and I totally agree with that. Here, let's do a little side-by-side comparison of what Salesforce, get this out of the way, of what Salesforce, this is where my notes have come in handy, how much it's going to cost you versus how much YETI is already costing itself.
Okay.
So, get this out of the way. Okay, so let's go ahead and discuss Salesforce. It's going to come with a one-time fee of $25,000, and that's going to cover consulting costs and actually the customization and the training of how YETI wants their setup to look like. So that's a one-time fee.
Okay.
And then after that, it's $150 per subscriber per month.
Okay.
So you have 15 managers, 160 salespeople, and 75 people. So just to do that math really quick, you're going to do 175 people times 150. And let me get my calculator out again. 175 times. That's right at $26,250 a month times 12 months. You're looking at this $340,000 a year.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is a lot of money, and we definitely understand that. But I want to kind of look at a different perspective of it. So going back to those problems and those issues that we discussed earlier and agreed on that, these were costing you large sums of money. Let's look at that salespeople and the time it takes for them to order. So they were costing you $120,000 a week just at the inefficiency of time to log those orders. If you multiply that times 52 weeks, and granted it might be a little bit less just because they might not work all those 52 weeks, but that's $6.2 million in potential loss that you're losing based off of the inefficiency of their time.
I forgot that number from when we said it.
Yeah.
So big.
Yeah, and that's a year. And then the second problem, your interdepartment communication. Agree. And again, we said, it's costing you $120,000 a week for salespeople, $15,000 a week for those managers, and that total for a year is $7 million potential loss.
Wow, I never thought communication could cost so much.
Right, so just there, we're already over $10 million.
Wow.
And then that order fulfillment, which this was a hard number that you guys have already seen go out your window. Yeah. That's $615,000 a year. And that brings you a total of potential loss and real loss of money to $13.8 million.
Wow.
And this was all decided by me and you here today. So this is nothing that I'm throwing out of you that you did not, already give me and discuss about that. So that's definitely a lot of money, and a lot of times we come across clients that aren't thinking of it in terms of what they're losing just by inefficiencies because they're focusing on that revenue that is growing and it is positive, and that's a great thing. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out, that $13 million.
That's a big number.
And then $340,000, 13.8, you can't even subtract $340,000 and be under $13 million. So that's your potential loss that we're looking at here.
Okay.
So that's all I really want to discuss with you today.
Okay.
Just kind of throw this out there and discuss some of the problems and things that YETI is going through. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't think so. I like what I've heard. We are considering some other CRM solutions, but I think this is the best option we've had so far, and you've definitely made the best argument. So I think just seeing those numbers is crazy. So I think that the rest of the team will definitely be interested to see how we can get that loss number down.
Well, great. Yeah, well, great. That's what I want to hear is that you would be happy to have the rest of the team listen to this. Yeah. And we can go through these numbers again with the rest of the team. And I know your Chief Financial Officer would probably be interested in hearing this as well.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you so much for having me. If it's all right with you, Addie, I'm going to send you an email this afternoon, and we can go ahead and get up a time for us to meet with the rest of the team.
Sounds good.
And so if there's no more questions from me, I appreciate your time. And I think that we have a lot to work with, and I'm looking forward to meeting with the rest of the team and hopefully getting some things underway.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
See you next
Well,
week.
thank you, Addie. Good to see you.
Nice to see you again.